Al McMordie, do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Is it going to be a big Sunday of green beer?
I don't drink. I've never had a drink in my life, so it will not be a green day.
So you're Irish and you've never had a drink in your life.
I am
That I
total.
learn something new every day.
I made the decision when I was 11 years old. I mean, look, I already had a big vice. I was, a gambler, but I made the decision when I was 11 that I was never going to have a drink, and I stuck to it.
Wow, I tell you what, you're 59 years old and you've never had any alcohol. That is
No.
amazing. Now I know the secret of why you're so well kept and preserved. Oh my God, that's amazing.
I would not say
Uh,
that. I ate lots of pizza and ice cream and cake.
so let me
So
ask you, when you go out with friends and like your whole entire life, were people like, come on, or they're pretty understanding?
I mean, I just the one thing I remember is my father's wife. She made a bet with me when I went off to college. I was 18, and she bet me $200 that I would have a drink by the time I left college.
I mean,
And I
that's a
remember,
reasonable bet. I would have called that a
yeah,
mine.
she thought it was a lock.
Right.
And my brother at the time told her, he was like, "You're nuts. He's never gonna have a fucking drink." And so yeah, 4 years goes by, and then like that summer, I came back to Pittsburgh, and I said, I want my $200.
This is
And so
amazing.
she wouldn't believe me.
It's amazing. So, for all the viewers that don't know, since you mentioned your brother, you and I have something in common. We're both twins. So, let me ask you: has your twin he drinks, or had?
And more than that.
That's funny. So, yeah, my brother and I, we're. I can definitely tell you that there's some bets we could that I wouldn't be able to win with him, and he wouldn't be able to win with me. But what I will tell you is this: you are up 32.1 units. Obviously, games are not settled today, but going into today, up 32 units for the week. And like I keep getting the same text messages. I love you guys. If you're already a member and subscriber of Big Al's, by all means, you can log in and get the plays, but what you're not getting is the ratings overlaid. Yesterday, you hit the big plays, getting the job done. And like I said, today, most of the big action we have is later in the evening at the time of this recording. So, with that being said, guys, I implore you, if you want to take advantage of March Madness, this is the time where money does not sleep. Yes, I'm selling the product because the product is worth being sold. I implore you to find anybody better in this business. I get texts all the time from guys that are sending me tickets, after the games are over, Al. We call that pass posting in this business. You and I have been doing this long enough to know the pass posting. Guys, we're giving you the games. Not only are we giving you the games before the games begin, probably earlier than any other handicapper. It's interesting, Al, because I grew up doing this here in Baltimore, Maryland with Duke. You knew Duke. But back then it was a lot of late information, which way the line's moving. You'd have the late telephone connection where the guy would call 30 minutes before game time. We have clients on our Telegram channel in the Philippines, Singapore, London, Asia, all around the world. You're putting these games out at Eastern Standard Time, 9 in the morning, 6 a.m. your time, making it nobody can complain that they got to wait till 3 minutes before game time.
Well, that's true. And one of the reasons is that, I'm a sharp. I'm not the only sharp in the world. You have to beat the other sharps to the punch.
Right.
If you sit around and wait, that number is going to be eroded. So one of the benefits of releasing the plays in the morning is that I'm doing it ahead of other sharps around the country. So it's very important to do that.
And I will tell you, since I'll be out in Las Vegas next week, I do see the benefits of that West Coast clock. You get to do it real early, and you don't have to wait till midnight for all the games to be over.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mitch had it right. Living in Hawaii was the perfect time.
So it was funny. The first time I went to Hawaii was to meet a client, and I wasn't thinking, and I was out at the club like at 2 a.m. with the client, and then went to the hotel room. Unlike you, did have a few drinks, passed out. He's banging on the door 4 hours later. I'm like, "What are you doing back?" He's like, "We got to go watch the first NFL game that we bet." I'm like, "What?" I was asleep 3 hours. Then all of a sudden I'm waking up and the sun's not even up yet, and I'm watching NFL games.
Yeah, I don't know if do you remember the service in Hawaii back in the
Yes.
'80s,
Yep.
Rockies
Yep.
Winter Circle.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So that's always fun. I'll be taking an international trip. So it's interesting. I'm not going to mention where, but I'll be taking a trip on September 7th, which I looked ahead to see where it fell, and it's the opening week of the NFL, right? So I literally
yeah,
get on a plane in the United States at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, 30 minutes into the first set of games, my time here, and then I'll be checking scores as I'm taking this international flight, and then finally when I land, it's the opposite. I'll be ahead almost a half a day, so I'll be watching games. The NFL games will be starting like at 1 a.m. So it is what it is. But like I said, this is the time of year where volume is your friend. Guys, don't be scared of volume. Don't be scared of volume. I asked you a long time ago, Al, what's the biggest thing that you did to increase your win? And you said volume, volume, volume. Not omitting plays, not worrying about having too many games and upsetting the clients. Because what I realize is that you're going to have clients that want the one big game. You're going to have clients that want 10 games, but they don't want 19 games. And at the end of the day, when you look at the leaderboard at pickdogs.com, the numbers speak for themselves. Volume is king.
it is, but and I understand it. It's probably the number one objection by clients to being on our service is the volume. A lot of guys just can't handle, a 15 play card. But yesterday, for example, we go 11-7, so you're up 3.3 net games. Going 11-7 is a lot better than going 3-2.
Well, so to tie into that, yes, but you made 17 units if you were an all access member yesterday. So that was even better. But I just wanted to defer. You're right. The 17 games, it will scare a lot of people away. And again, you just got to roll with the punches, whether you're flat betting them making the 3 units or whether you're playing them on the all access making the 17 units.
Yeah. I won't give all the details about this story. This was this morning. An on and off client, joined another handicapper, and he was telling me that guy, did really poorly over the last week or so. I think he said he went 1-11 or 1-12. Over the last 5 days, we're 37-21. Just to give, I'm not talking about the record, just to give you the difference in volume. 58 plays versus 13.
Absolutely.
And then I said to the guy, I said, well, I've had the best basketball record in the country, for the last 4 or 5 years. And this client who's on and off, he comes, he leaves, he comes, he leaves. You know how these guys can be.
Sure.
He replied to me. He goes, you give out too many plays. That was his response as to why he was with this other handicapper who just went 1-12. So the other handicapper gives out 13 plays and goes 1-12, which, I mean, that's unusual by itself. I'm not saying that's normal. But we were 37-21 our last 58, and it is the number one objection. Guys, for whatever reason, they're uncomfortable. Not everyone, but certainly some people, I acknowledge it, are uncomfortable betting 15 plays in a day.
Absolutely. And like I said, that's why I always tell people, like I said, we never talk about my products, Al, and then we'll get to your complimentary selection, but I have a low volume product and a high volume product because I realize I can't make the guy that wants the low volume the high volume, but I always give him the caveat. I could have a winning week on the high volume, but and extract some plays to the low volume, and it could just be unlucky. You got to take, you are actually taking a higher risk because you're putting your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, the real way to look at this is with more volume, you diversify away more of the risk.
Exactly.
The greater the number of plays, the more you're going to approximate, the truer win percentage, right?
Right.
I mean, if I've got 3 plays, it's completely, you can go 0 and very easily go 0-3, but the more plays you have, the closer to that, 54, 55, 56% you're going to get.
Well,
that's one reason why you want high volume, because it's just kind of, it just allows you to hit your truer percentage.
well, to your point,
I'm not afraid of it. I mean, I don't.
well, to your
if I've got
point,
a net,
go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm just saying if I've got an edge in the game, I'm putting it out. I'm not.
Well, so to your point, you had 17 games yesterday, right? And I didn't even know my record on my low volume Telegram channel. I've had 18 games the entire week. I'm 13-5, but literally you had 17 games yesterday. I've had 18 games since Monday.
Well, and this is really just a feature of college basketball. I mean, you know what happens when the college basketball season ends, all the clients are like, where'd all the games go? You know,
Exactly.
like in baseball season, we'll have one a day, right? Other handicappers will have a
Exactly.
lot more. But it's like all of a sudden it's like we don't have a lot of games, and people are going to be like surprised by that because that day is coming very soon. But during college basketball season, we have a lot of plays.
I was wrong. I only had 12 plays this week, 7-5. But there you go. There's to your point. So with that being said, what do you got for the NBA clients in tomorrow's complimentary selection?
Yeah, Denver's laying 14 points, huge number to the Lakers. Of course, the Nuggets coming off that embarrassing 20-point loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves at home at Ball Arena. But Denver is 58-33 ATS off a home loss by more than 10 points if they're also playing at home the next game. They also were upset at home by the Lakers 20 days ago. The Lakers beat them that night by 23 points as a 6.5 point underdog. But the Lakers are 19-45 ATS when playing an opponent that upset in the season's prior meeting. Put it both together, and we're going to take Denver minus the 14.
Listen, you can bet against the Lakers. Just don't talk about Bronny. We don't want to have LeBron get in your face, Al.
I'm not even paying attention to Bronny. What the hell's going on?
You didn't see the whole Stephen A. Smith thing?
No. I don't
I
watch
love this
ESPN
guy.
and like talk shows.
I love this. All right, guys, you got the complimentary selection. Let's take the Denver Nuggets. Send me a text. Let's get you on the all access. Yesterday was a perfect example. He had 17 games, went 11-7, made 3 units. We made 17 units with the same games, overlaying the value on top of them. And as always, good day and good luck.